survivor. Let's find out when you spend a day in our shoes. All you creators are sanctuaries waiting. Who will win the title? Well, it could be you. Survivor, survivor, I'm a survivor.
I'm afraid that Chucky sees me and he's gonna walk over and see if I want to love on him. Oh, and that's sad because I just can't, y'all. I want to, but I can't. I cannot do anything to mess up what's going on here with the herd. And everybody needs to know, guys, I just want you to know that it's breaking me. It hurts me as much as it's hurting you. It is. Because I want to love. I want to give him a muffin. I want to pet on him. But that would not do him any favors right now. Please don't come over here, Chucky. I can't talk to you right now, buddy. I'm trying to hide behind this pole. I'm trying to hide behind a... Oh, no. Look who's watching. Chucky, I'm trying to hide behind this pole so no one sees me. You're a wonderful fella, and we do love you so much. You're all muddy and pretty, the way the girls like you to look. Oh, Chucky, I can't love on you, though. Guys, I'm not allowed to love on him. Buddy, I'm sorry, okay? I'm so sorry. But you're a real bull now, sir. You're a real bull. And I will say that he is a real bull. And he's always been a real bull, friends. Hi to hello. He's always been a real bull. I just, and I know that that has to break your heart the same way it just breaks my heart. Hi to hello, friends. Let me go ahead and minimize that off the screen if I can. I want to thank you all for joining me this afternoon, this evening. A bit later than what we normally come on. But I do know there have been a lot of questions lately, and I feel like I just can't find a way to catch everybody at the same time. So sometimes coming over here onto when I'm at the house, when I have good internet, and I can come onto my laptop where I can bring all of the pages together, might be the best time to actually answer questions where everybody gets the same info. And so today, that's what I'm going to be doing. I will go ahead and I'm going to hush it up. I've already just told myself, Lester, you're just going to hush it up and just answer the questions. And hopefully throughout the course of the live, however long it lasts, we can get all of those questions answered, okay? Because I know you have a lot. If you don't mind, though, I know, here I go already. I did want to show you these cute gifts that I got. I got a shirt that says Stud Muffin, and then I got a mug that says Muffin Man. There's actually another shirt. I didn't wear it. I had it on at first, but it was making me dizzy. It's the entire Muffin Man song. And I'm like, I don't want to run all these nice folks out of here. I did not want to do anything to run you all out of here. And God knows you start reading my shirt while I'm trying to talk, and you're not going to be able to focus. You're going to be focused on my shirt. I'm not going to hear a darn word that I say. And we didn't want that to happen. So let me fill up my new and really neat tumbler glass cup, whatever you would call it. And I'm drinking me a Propel water. It's strawberry flavored. I love it. Thank you so much. We also got several more buckets of those darn muffins. I'll tell you what, you guys are so very sweet, so kind to the animals. And I hope that you know, and I hope that I tell you enough or remind you how they are living their very best lives because of you. And please never forget that. Pat yourselves on the back whenever you see an animal who's able to go under a shelter and get out of the elements. When you see, us fertilizing the fields or harvesting the hay, when you see whatever, anything that you see around there, the vets coming out to visit, they'll be here tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Everything that you see, just remember that none of this would have been possible if it weren't for you guys. I understand how these annoying ads that pop up can just, you just want to pull your purple hair out. If you have purple hair or any color hair, really. I mean, look at me. But you just want to pull that hair out when them ads pop up. But that is how we make a living, friends. Now, Jamie still works a 9-to-5 job, but that's how I make my living, off of advertisers. So I don't place those ads. I don't select those ads. That's all up to Facebook and YouTube, how they put them, how many they put, where they put them, and what they're about. But a percentage of those dollars do come to the creator. So thank you so very much for understanding that that's how we're able to make a living for us and these sweet babies. All right. The only thing I want to say is I saw Justin stopped at Buc-ee's. What a fun video to see that Justin, Lauren, and Jeff did stop at Buc-ee's on their way home. I believe it was around midnight, and they were somewhere in Alabama. But I think that Jeff or Justin actually counted the gas pumps, and there was over 200 gas pumps. Now, the only thing that they missed, and it's not really anything to miss, is the crowd. Because they got there so late, there were almost no people the way it normally is for us folks who go during the day. So, all right. So I'm going to pretty much allow you guys to ask any of those questions. Now, I'm going to remind you that it's impossible for me to catch every question. We got all 4 channels over here, 2 on Facebook and 2 on YouTube, and they're flying by. And the app that I use to bring all of the channels together does not allow us a way to slow down the comments. So that's the unfortunate thing, is I will not be able to grab everything. But this sweet lady over here says, I don't have my reading glasses, but we type in caps so Lester can read questions. And that's absolutely right. There is a little bit of etiquette on social media you may not know about, and that etiquette is that you don't generally type in all caps unless your creator asks you to. And this particular creator says, please type in all caps so that I can catch them, because if they're in smaller case, I can't really read them as good. And so please be understanding to that. So our questions and answers are going to be focused around what's going on with our sweet Chucky, okay? And so I will try to, lots of us oldies here. Susan, I am blessed. I'll tell you what, Susan, and this is a question and an answer, and so you're able to say whatever you would like to, and I will try to grab it. We have fought the good fight, Susan, and I do believe, hey, Mr. Bill, I do believe, and I recognize so many names on here of people that I've been talking to for a number of years. And if we've never even talked in person, I know you have been just loyal folks who've been around for a long, long time. And I'll tell you what, we have fought a good fight, Miss Susan. We have fought a good fight. I'm not saying we're ready to give up now. I think there's a lot more fight ahead of us, don't you? But we have fought a good fight. And I think that the scars and the wrinkles and all of those things show. And that just shows the good fight that we have fought. Miss Lisa says, I'm so proud of you for taking in Chucky. I followed and supported you for 5 years. Miss Lisa, I certainly appreciate that. Chuck was difficult because it's very similar to when we were asked to take Carl. Obviously I have a passion, and I have not, I'm just going to say I have knowledge. I'm not trying to brag or boast. That's not who I am. But I do have a little bit of experience in working with cows, and that's what my dad has done and his dad before him. So that part wasn't hard. And then the part of the fact that Chuck was able to get a hold of Justin, even that part wasn't hard. That wasn't the hard part, because, you learn over time how to keep your head on a swivel to protect yourself from situations like that. And I've also said a number of times that I'm not upset, and I'm not trying to bash Justin for, here's what Mr. Rick, the horse guy, always tells me. You don't know what you don't know. And Justin, and I love that family, Justin did not know what he didn't know. It doesn't sound like it makes sense until you really think about it. You don't know what you don't know. And Justin did not know what he didn't know, in the fact that by loving on a bull, at some point as he gets older and he begins to develop, and his inners up here start to change, and the testosterone and the hormones and all of those things, Justin didn't know what he didn't know at the time, but he knows now, don't he? But I do know. Now, it doesn't mean I can't also get pinned by Carl, or I can't be put in a corner by a bull here or there, because things do happen, friends. Accidents do happen. But what I do know is that I love these animals, and that I also know that I'm a Survivor Sanctuary has reached out and tried to offer a home to anybody who needed one whenever we can. And we went ahead and took on this challenge. We thought that we had a really nice place to do it. And so, we don't forget, we also lost our beloved little Gary no more than a couple of months back. And so I'm not saying that Chuck's going to fill that void that so many of us lost when we lost our little Gary. But I do think that Chuck is going to do great there at the property. And he's already beginning to be introduced. And listen, I will say that there's two words, and they're both very fitting, but acclimated and assimilated, friends. We're not going to fight and argue, but you can do the same research that most people do and Google it. But assimilated and acclimated are two different things, but Chuck is going through both of those right now. Acclimated to the weather, acclimated to Texas humidity, acclimated to all the things, assimilated to the culture of learning to be a bull, getting away from the smoochy. And I'm so sorry, because I understand how y'all love that part of the petting and the loving and all of those things. But a part of his assimilation into becoming a bull, one of our babies, is the fact that we're going to have to stop doing so much of that kind of stuff. Now, not everyone gets it, but I'm just going to give you a quote that I've known for a long, long time. You can love an animal without actually loving on the animal. Please picture that just for a moment. You can love an animal without actually loving on an animal. And so you will not be able to see me loving on Chuck the way you saw Jeff or Justin or Lauren. But I can give you my word that I will love that bull with everything I got. And it may be a while before you're able to see it, but it will happen. Anyway, this is questions and answers, and I'm not going to be able to ramble on about anything. No more Muffin Man. Oh, no. There's still the Muffin Man. There's still the Muffin Man. But listen to me. I'll tell you something. Rita and Roman will still get muffins. All of those little heifers out front, our gladiators, will still get muffins. And Chuck is still going to get plenty of muffins. But what I don't want to do is mess Chuck up as he's beginning to find his way in the herd. And so what we cannot have happen is every time I walk out into that pasture, Chuck leaves the herd and comes running up to me for his muffin. We want Chuck to learn to be a cow. And so I'll make my way out to Chuck. I can give you my word. And there's going to be plenty of us on the side-by-side driving about, and we will be doing all of that stuff. Why would you talk about letting Chuck breed the riffraff when you don't like how that man takes care of his cows? Well, Chuck's not going to be able to breed anybody, because if Chuck ever gets how do you say this the right way? I'm trying to be PC here. If Chuck ever gets a chance to taste the forbidden fruit, it's going to be a whole lot more difficult, friends. So I do believe that Chuck will be castrated without ever having a chance to taste of the forbidden fruit. You know what I mean? And so Chuck will more than likely go ahead and have his castration. And then also the worst thing about that is that you would not want to produce anything that's going to put meat or on the table, or something that's going to be processed, or something that's going to find itself to an auction and have to go through all of that. So we know that by Chuck ever having a chance to taste that forbidden fruit next door may be fun for Chuck, but what we don't realize and what we have to always think about is what would happen to the future offspring of that forbidden fruit. I hope that you know what I mean by that. I hope it makes sense to you all. I see the ABCs had the taste. Did they, babe? With each other. The ABCs are all of the mini donkeys we rescued, and they never had a taste of the forbidden fruit. My husband passed away from COVID-19. Ma'am, I'm so very sorry. It's hard to keep going, but your channel keeps me going daily. One day when my mind and my financial situation is better, I will become a member. Thank you. No, ma'am, Sheila, I insist that you don't. What I want you to do instead is do something for yourself. One day when your mind is ready, when you feel ready, when your finances are ready, I want you to go get your nails done. And I want you to email me a picture of your pretty nails. Or if you can, go get your hair done. And I want you to send me a picture of you with your hair done. I don't know what kind of stuff you like, Miss Sheila, but maybe you go buy yourself a new purse or a new bag, or you do something for you. I don't want your money, sweet lady. I don't. I want you to be happy. Please. I always say that there's something about, and there's different people who have a desire and they receive a blessing from giving. And we do not want to deny that blessing to people who want to bless. But at the same time, I have a really hard time receiving. And so I want you to spend your money on you. Please. And you're hearing it from me. Yes, if I do look tired, it's because I am tired. I am tired. By this time of day, what time is it? 8 o'clock? It's been a long 13-hour day so far. And days are not easy. Days are long for us. I'm going to keep going, guys. I told you I would try not to ramble. Love. You last turn love the ranch. Don't let them blue gray haired ladies F you too much. There's a lot of us out here that depend on you every day. We enjoy watching you and enjoy your family and really love the animals. God bless you and Jamie. Miss Diana, been doing this for a while, and I just joke about colored haired ladies. I hold nothing against. My mom dyes her hair maroon. Have y'all not seen my mother? Babe, how many different colors has my mom done her hair? My mom is blonde now? Listen, y'all. I hope that you never think that when I joke about the purple-haired ladies that I'm making anything personal about purple-haired ladies or men. I just watched a Joe Rogan episode one time, and there was an expression that I remembered him saying, and I just thought it was catchy. And sometimes I find myself repeating that catchy expression. I got this as a gift. Justin and Lauren brought this over. It was not from them, but a sweet lady gifted it, and she wanted me to have it. This is like what I'll probably use is like a hat rack. Probably at the JL Ranch North when I go over into the RV, I can just take my hat off and set it right on top of there. I'll have to mount it somewhere nearby the door. Make sure that Jamie's okay with where I mount it. We don't want that to come by and stick somebody. Those things are long and pointy, but isn't that wonderful? So, hey, if I had hair, I've already told y'all so many times, if I did have hair, I would wear a man bun. That's one thing about me that I would do. I would wear a man bun, and I would probably dye it probably more blonde. I think that blonder hair with blue eyes and a man bun would make me quite the beast. That's just a fantasy, okay? That's just a fantasy. Okay, let's keep going. Will you do a merch fundraiser to help out for Chuck? So let's talk about that real fast. The answer is no, not yet. No, we don't want that. And I'm hoping that we will not have to. Let me explain. Hey, babe, can you come explain this, the A&M part, or not? Jamie's says she's not dressed to be on a video, but sometimes she is in her robe. Do y'all mind if Jamie comes out in her robe? You don't want to? Okay, don't worry. It's okay because you're dirty too. Your robe is filthy with dirt. Look on the collar. Oh my God, it is. Jamie must have taken her hands and done this on her robe. So let me just explain to you how A&M works out. And Jamie standing right here can help me if I get it wrong. There's nothing wrong with the robe, but Jamie did not know that her robe had a little bit of mud over on one side. I bet she walked outside in that. I did. All right. So just correct me if I'm wrong. A&M has obviously have this amazing vet department, but what we've done the last 3 times we've had to go there was like emergency vets. Yeah, we went with Fiona with the emergency room. We went to the emergency room where A&M doctors who also are teaching emergency room doctors, the same way that people could be emergency ER doctors. And that's what we've done the last 3 times with our 3 babies, be it Fiona, be it with Voodoo, and then again with Ernie. Okay. But that was emergency room. So what we're going to do with Chuck is not an emergency. So we have to schedule stuff like that. I think it's the same. Elective. It's an elective. Mm-hmm. So Jamie said it's called an elective. It's kind of the same way if you go to the doctor. You may go to the ER where they're going to see you because you're there and you need to be seen like pronto, ASAP, or stat. Is that the right word? Yeah. Stat. But the thing with Chuck is that he doesn't have to be seen stat. He's not sick. He's not sick. So he has to be scheduled. And so we just can't call up to a university like A&M and say, hey, this is Longhorn Lester and I'm bringing a bull up in there. It doesn't work that way. They only do certain days of the month and we're on a waiting list. So we are on a waiting list. And that kind of in a way leads me to a whole lot. And then, yes, I will be sending the NADs over to Justin because he's asked for those. He wants them in a formaldehyde solution, and he wants to hang those somewhere or make a necklace. I don't know. But anyway, what I was saying was what's interesting about that question about Chuck and getting him castrated whenever we get an appointment scheduled, yes, A&M has to make sure that you're set up so everyone stays safe. Yes. And that's not just us, that's the animals. A&M has a prestigious program. And I also know that it'll be a part of a class. So the A&M procedure will be done by a real vet, but I'm certain, I don't know if this is certain or not, but I have a feeling it's kind of like how it is when you see like these doctors on TV who are in training and they're all like standing behind this wall and they're all taking notes and they're watching the vet do stuff. And the vet has like some kind of like glasses on that helps amplify whatever they're seeing or they're projecting onto a big screen. And so all of these students are watching and taking notes. That's what I imagine it's going to be like. That's just maybe me fantasizing. But not only will So James says this may not be quite that dramatic, but that's just what I imagine. It may just be 3 or 4 kids who are studying to be vets all gathered around, handing the doc whatever she needs. I don't know. But what I was trying to say is that day will happen, and we will not know what it's going to cost until we know what it's going to cost, okay? But listen, we have supporters on Facebook that we're blessed to have. And we also have members on our I'm a Survivor on YouTube who we're very blessed to have. And I promise you, we will be fine. But if there's something ever major, like we had with VU, that exceeds the budget that we have set aside for our vet care, then I promise you we'll let you know. And then as far as actual merch, we don't really do merch. We do have occasional fundraisers, maybe once a year, but that is just when we really, really need something. Okay, so I'm going to continue on with the questions. I'm trying to catch as many as I can. I'm so sorry, poor Chuck, for talking about your jewels. I don't think Chuck is going to be okay. I think he's fine. I'm looking for questions, really. Hi, Lester. How old is Chuck? Will his horns get bigger? So Chuck is 3, and he is mostly Jersey. He's a Jersey bull. That's the breed, Jersey. And his horns will get bigger as he grows. And so will all of his body parts. Chuck is still a growing boy. He will get much bigger. Okay, my first question is, why not give some attention to Chuck? He's already used to it. You let Ruby and the other ones have attention. So that's the first question for Miss Margie. So Miss Margie, we've had Chuck since Thursday, and I do believe that out of the 7,000 folks who are watching, 6,999 of those people have seen me give Chuck all kinds of attention. All kinds of attention. I have fed him by the hand. I have given him smoochies. I have scratched him behind the horns, and I've done all kinds of things. But as far as now that he's been released and he's out with the herd, and now he's becoming one of the others, the more attention that I give to Chuck is only going to help me here, Jamie. It's only going to make him appear weaker in the herd. He's a bull, and he has a status that he has to live up to. And even though he's very lovable and he loves attention, we have to make sure we do what's right by Chuck and his status in the herd. And as of today, he is now the number 2 right there behind Tex. Tex claimed his spot as number 1. And I think that anyone that watched that video saw Chuck dig his head down to the mud. He'd come up with his horns caped full of clay. He climbed on top of that mound, and he stood there very proud, and he looked out over the pasture. And all of our cows, the females, looked up at him. All of the calves, the bull calves, the heifers, they all looked up at him. And even Tex. Let's not mess that up. Let's not mess that up. If we go out there every day and we call Chuck over and we give him individual snacks and we give him all this attention, it's going to mess with him in different ways. So we're not going to do that. And different ranchers can have different philosophies, but I'm under the mindset that we don't touch our bulls. And Mr. Justin and Jeff and Lauren have known that from day one. And the folks who follow my channel have known that from day one. I will love all day on those little ladies. I will love all day on him once he's been cut, and his status will change again. Jane. Yes, ma'am. Today he left the herd and walked up longing to be touched by me. Jamie doesn't get over it near as much as I do, so she doesn't know the things that some of us know. I will take a moment to pause, and I will play this snippet of a video that happened today. At the stage. Now, I'm afraid that Chucky sees me, and he's going to walk over and see if I want to love on him. Now, let me pause right there for a minute, because here's what's happening. If you notice, Chuck should have been, what Chuck should have been doing right there, I'm trying to find the right way where I can project on both. What Chuck should have been doing, he had the attention of the Wrecking Ball Jolene and Prince Willie Joe. So thinking like a bull, what he should have been doing is integrating himself amongst the herd, taking the opportunities that Tex was giving him to walk around and find himself in that herd, establish himself, get to know however cows and bulls get to know. But here's the problem. He saw me. He saw me from a distance. Oh, And that's sad because I just can't, y'all. I want to, but I can't. I cannot do anything to mess up what's going on here with the herd. And everybody needs to know, guys, I just want you to know that it's breaking me. It hurts me as much as it's hurting you. It is. So the way I kind of look at it is I would love to try to explain, but some folks will never get it. Some folks are never going to get it. And that's fine. And I can't make you get it. SFF folks, so those Steinmetz family farm folks, Ruby and Danny were raised in the bathroom beside where Lester is sitting. Yes, they were bottle babies. Mom and dad are their humans, with the dogs helping to raise them. They're getting big now too. As a matter of fact, I hope that at some point Justin will put out that video, but we did. We took a drive over to visit with all of our bottle babies who are in a different pasture. They're up in the front pasture with Waylon. That's their little bull. And guys, it's overwhelming. And I do believe that if you talk to Justin, Jeff, or Lauren, they will all three admit that when all of those calves or those young heifers came together around, and you have all of these lovable, sweet babies, it was overwhelming. It was dangerous. It was scary. And I do believe that it took a couple of spanky sticks to get everyone back safely to their side-by-sides and Argo, or else someone was about to get hurt. I love them, but cows are big animals, friends. They are big animals. All right. What else do we have here? It does hurt, but totally understand what needs to be done. Miss Flo, I appreciate you saying that. And I think it's kind of the same way when with our children, at some point we have to see them, they begin to get older, and it hurts to see them grow distant from us. We understand we have to give them the space. We can't constantly run in there and grab their phones to see who they've been texting, and we can't follow them around school to see who they're hanging around with. We can't go to the skating rink and spy on them from the car, or go to the mall and hang out in the food court and watch who they're hanging around with. I'm concerned the others see the attention you give him. They think they can too and harm you in the process. Miss Pam, don't worry about me. Do not worry about me. I'm pretty good with keeping my head on a swivel, as we all say. And I'm pretty good about keeping my distance and keeping something with me. I'm trying to grab a comment. Oh, here we go. That's Miss Vanessa. Thank you for doing this Q&A. What kind of bull is Chuck? He's a Jersey and he's 3, and I love his curly top. It looks like he wears a toupee. Oh, I do that to my 20-year-old son, Steele. Sarah, you're bad. Sarah, got to stop doing that. They call that helicopter mom. Where will Chuck fit into the herd with other bulls? So Chuck will become Uncle Chuck. And I believe we've already started that process today. He spent some time with the herd, and he's going to be a bull, but he'll never have a chance to breed. He'll eventually be cut or castrated, and then he will find himself becoming Uncle Chuck. He'll be a protector. He will lay around with the babies while their moms are off grazing. He will hopefully find him a friend, the same way that little Gary found Jezebel. We hope that Chuck will find himself a personal friend, and it's going to be awesome. But you have to trust and give me time, ma'am. Kelly says, some people just don't understand the mentality of a bull or a herd like you do, Lester. Well, I appreciate the compliment. I make a lot of mistakes, Kelly. Everyone knows that, but I've been doing it for a while. I'm one of them, but I've been learning from you for many years now, and I trust the decisions that you make. That is very kind, Kelly, and I appreciate you and your loyal support for so long and being a part of the page for as long and trusting in me, even though you know, sweet lady, Kelly, you know I've made some mistakes. But what I promised everybody is that when I make a mistake, I will own up to it. And I'm not going to try to pass the blame onto somebody else. I won't do that. I've never done that. Not on purpose. I haven't. Jamie's probably rolling her eyes. Are you? Remember, this is only a question and answer. I'm trying to keep it based on questions. Rita and Roman are going to miss Chuck in their pasture. Believe it or not, I think that they kind of do. It was a little bit scary this morning. And if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and take your question, and I'm going to segue off of it a little bit. There's a lot of people. Let me actually back up to the kind of a negative comment, and we're not going to focus on the negative necessarily, but for the one lady who said that Lester just could not wait to move that bull out back because he's desperate for content. He's desperate for content. I'll tell you something, and I bet that most of you would agree. The most beautiful content that I could have ever captured would have been that bull who becomes best friends with those two rescue horses. There is no better content than what I witnessed with my own eyes last night, watching them all bunk up in the hay together. There's no more beautiful content than watching them all walk out this morning to eat along the fence line as I poured their grain over the fence. If you were a man or a woman or a creator who was desperate for content, I just gave away the best content that would have given you more of those moments, those breathtaking moments. But I did that for the safety of my horse, and I did that for the well-being of Chuck. So content will continue to be made, but I promise you there were some beautiful moments that I was able to see, and some that I captured, of a bull who's really big, along with a horse in Roman who's even bigger, and that feisty little Rita. And the three of them, those three amigos, my friends, there is not a content creator who would not snatch up those three and take over the internet with their antics. There's not a creator who would not snatch that up. But here's what I saw. I saw Chuck, as they were all three eating out of their different feed bowls. I saw Chuck walk over. The first time I saw him do it was yesterday. And he walked over and he nudged Roman away from his trough. And that surprised me, because the day before yesterday, I saw Roman keep Chuck away from the food troughs and away from Rita. And so when I saw that there might be a power shift happening, I began to start internalizing some potential problems. And then today, this morning on a live video, I saw Chuck walk over and literally, now his horns are only so big, but he literally just walked over and he just kind of pushed Rome, not trying to fight him, but that's how they push and shove. You guys know the Longhorns use their horns. And so when I saw that happen, the cogs in my head began to turn, and I realized real fast that that's not the dynamic that I want. That's not the dynamic that we need. There's no way I want to possibly risk one of those horses getting pinned in a corner and getting gored by this bull. So what I did was had to think of a way I could do some rearrangements. And so I came home, I got to talking to Jamie, and we sat here together and we devised a potential plan. And that's what you do. That's part of the farm management. You got to think about what's best interest for the animals that you work with, not what's in the best interest of me making a few dollars on YouTube, or maybe hopefully get me a viral video on a TikTok. You think about the animals, and what I could not handle is Rome getting hurt or Rita getting hurt. I have to be safe. We got to find a way to be safer. And so my concern was, what can I do? How can I manage this? How can I work this all out to do what's best for everybody? And I do believe that the plan that we put into place, the plan that I made a video of, a live video, and you all saw, I think that that right there is the plan that we're going to hopefully stick with for a little while anyway. Lester, have you ever noticed that you have been trying to get another Uncle Moo? I think you really do miss him. I do miss our Uncle Moo. Of course I do. Moo is and has always been a very big personality, and you learn to love guys like him. Big old galoot. And maybe trying to take care of little Gary, the little bull rescue. I wasn't trying to replace Moo, but I'll tell you what, I find a lot of similarities in the role that that big Moo played compared to what little Gary began to do for us. And then, of course, Chuck. I'm not trying to replace Chuck and force him to become a Moo. And if folks are new to the channel, they don't know who the heck we're talking about. But Moo is a steer that we also rescued years and years and years ago. And we actually gifted him to my nephew, Jake, who was at that time my farm help and who wanted to start his very own channel. And so Jake had a little piece of property, a little piece of land. We helped him fence that pasture off, and we gave him Moo as the beginning of his very own herd of misfits. And Jake has since then moved along with Moo to a new property where Moo has a whole lot more space to move around. Is Moo sick? I saw him the other day and he does not look well. I'm not trying to stir the pot. I'm just concerned. Ma'am, I think that I have helped Jake diagnose the problem with Moo. Here's what I think is going on. I agree that Moo has lost a lot of weight. And I think that the problem is Moo is unable to get what he needs out of that feed buggy. Jake also feeds using the feed buggy. And because of the salt limiter, cows are only able to eat so much before their body makes them stop. And so I told Jake that if I was him, I would go ahead and start feeding Moo separately, a senior type food for older and bigger cows. But I do think that Moo needs more. But let's not make this about Jake's page. Let's go ahead and keep it focused on Longhorn Lester's JNL North if possible. Joy. I'm just looking for questions. Jamie could never work with Roman or Rita while Chuck is in the same pasture. Lester is doing the right thing by moving Chuck in with the herd. Lester knows his cows. Holly, you're very kind. But believe it or not, Jamie and I prefer to work with Rita outside of the pasture. No matter what, we want Rita outside of the pasture. I understand that a lot of y'all would enjoy seeing us be able to do things with Roman as well. But remember, Roman is retired. Roman has lived a very difficult life, a lot harder than most of us can imagine. He was an Amish workhorse or a machine for 20 plus years. He's bruised and he's battered and he's I think that he struggles with some PTSD from some of the abusiveness that he's dealt with. And I'm not trying to call out any culture of people, but what I am trying to say is that he's going to retire and live out his best life now as a pasture horse. He's going to get the best of feeds that we can afford him. He will get the best of vet care. We will get the farriers for his feet. We'll get his teeth floated as he needs them. And we're not going to try to work him. We're never going to try to spook him. The only thing that Jamie and I would like to be able to do is get him to halter easier, because there are times that we have to move him from pasture to pasture, and it would be a whole lot easier if we could put a halter on him. Jamie's done that several times on her own, and as of now, 2 months into that rescue, I have yet to be able to halter him. So I do think he might have a little bit more fear of men than he does women. Don't forget that Dr. Cochran was able to halter him, and so was Courtney, our farrier. So thank you. Chuck is learning how to cow. Yes, that is true. Yes. Weird. Okay. Just trying to catch questions. If someone were ever on vacation to Texas, do you allow people to come to the farm for visits? If so, I would like to book a day. Miss Kelly, I appreciate you asking before you just show up. To be honest, I don't think that people understand how busy we really are by trying to maintain both of the properties. Don't forget, Jamie works full time. And so it's pretty much me going back and forth. Jamie does take care of her horses over here at this property during her morning breaks, her lunch breaks, and of course after her work hours. But we're not really set up to accommodate. We don't have restrooms for people. We work out of an RV. And so ultimately it's just more difficult than what you may realize. So I would have to say that on rare occasions, if there have been a few people stop by, but I'll tell you what, I make it so hard on them that they probably wish they would have never even asked. So thank you for loving us. We prefer, though, to share our blessings with you all through social media. Lester, I realize this is mostly about Chuck, but I've been wondering about Santiana. I haven't heard anything about her possibly being pregnant. Miss Jane, we do believe that Santiana is pregnant, but recently we did a video where we walked out, and I think it was a live video where we walked out and we had a bag report. And it was the whole thing where I get down nice and low and I make the news flash like, this is a bag report on Santiana. And I do believe that most of the folks who were watching that particular live video all agreed that she's not that far along yet. So, what? You mean you don't want strangers to come into your home and use your master bathroom? Sarah? Where in Illinois is Jamie from? It's near a cornfield. It's a city near a cornfield. It's near a cornfield. That's all I know is it's near a cornfield. Chuck would make a beautiful baby. Could y'all freeze his sperm? Jude, only if you want to come collect it. Sandra Tota Garcia. He impaled him in the groin. He lifted him off the ground with his horn a couple of times, just missed his femoral artery. He was really lucky. I don't think he was meaning to hurt him. I believe he was just playing, but his playing could have killed him. Yes, I mean, don't forget, friends, that Justin is not only lucky to be with us today, but even if nothing else, he could have been paralyzed. He could have been, had head trauma, because not only did that bull pick him up and give him a good toss, I believe 3 times, but also he began to kind of gore him into the ground a couple of times. And he was not wearing the protective things that your cowboys wear. He didn't have the vest and the neck and his helmet. So it was a man versus a bull, and that bull won. So we're very blessed that Justin is okay. There's quite a few cornfields in Illinois. Are you kidding me? Oh, Lord, Helen. Helen, you're trying to make... Lester, I have a question for Chuck Voices. Okay. Oh, this is good. Already commented it. It's a lot of type again, but gladly will if you need me to. Amelia, I have no idea what the question was, and I'm so sorry, but I think it's cute how you raised your hand. like a schoolgirl would do back in one of my classes when I taught school. Justin is a survivor too. I kind of want to create a voice. We want Lester alive and healthy so he can take care of the animals in his and Jamie's care. Thank you. I love y'all, Lester and Jamie. Thank you. Voice text, that's what I do when it's too long. I do the same thing, Vonda. I voice text, but the problem with me is that I have a bit of a country accent, and sometimes things don't come out right. All right, Sabrina says, will there possibly be a time when you stream 100% on the same platform? I feel like I chase down videos most of the time, then learn it was posted days or a week before I've seen it already. I hate that for you, ma'am. I really do. Let me go ahead and hide this because it's hiding a lot of my face. Maybe I can do this. Is there a way I can make that smaller? It's so big. I don't think so. But the people who I feel the worst for are those that only watch on Facebook, because Facebook, I'm a Survivor Sanctuary, is still a page that we're doing okay with. We're not having the same issues as Jamie and I are having on our smaller channels, Longhorn Lester's and From Suits to Boots. The only downfall to watching on Facebook, I'm a Survivor Sanctuary, is we do play our videos first on YouTube. So sometimes when it comes around to people watching on Facebook, the videos are in fact a couple of days older. And that makes it really hard to keep up with time and place. We have encouraged folks to try to make their way over to YouTube to make it easier on us and on you. But I do understand that not everyone can do that. So what we've been trying to do is put the link to the video, so you only have to go to the same channel you've already been going to on Facebook and then click the link that will take you over to YouTube. But unfortunately, when you do it that way, you are not able to comment, you're not able to do all of the things, and you can't interact the same. As far as us going full time on just one platform, that's probably not ever going to happen. And I'll tell you why. So Jamie maintains her own channel, From Suits to Boots, and that content is mostly Jamie oriented, Jamie's interest, things that Jamie loves to do. And Jamie has a different audience. Some are the same, but for the majority, most people who watch Jamie's channel are not the same ones who like to watch a Longhorn Lester channel, because my channel is more about the things that I have interest in, like the cows and my horses and the things that I did. I'm not taking it back neither. I'm not taking it back. Rita and Roman love me. Anyway, so really in saying so, we really don't want to ever have to give up our individual type of channels, because those really do reflect our personal interest and our long-term goals. But I'm a Survivor Sanctuary is the channel that we have both worked on to create a channel for all of the farm animal rescues. And so what I try to do, and I know it's hard on you, ma'am, and everyone else, I understand how hard this must be for you all. And that's why I always say that that everyone out there in social media is trying to grab your time, because all you have is so much time in the day. And when all these channels are popping up and you just want to watch them all, and I don't know what to tell you, I'm so very sorry. But each of us, here's how you have to think about it. Here's how you have to think about it. I'm going to get to that in just a second. But, if you drive down the road, you see, let's just take your different stores, like you take your Walmart and you take your Target and you take all of these different stores, and they're all competing to get you to come in and shop with them, right? And then you go down, you have your Texaco, your Exxon, your Mobil, your Valvoline, whatever. All of these gas stations are all competing to have you come in and shop with them. And so it's no different here in the world of social media. All of us are competing for your time. I want you to watch my channel, and Justin wants you to watch his channel, and Jamie wants you to watch her channel, and you name it. You know, the friends that we have in social media, we're all competing. We all want you to come watch us, and that's how we grow. So what I tell everybody is, don't get yourself bogged down in trying to grab so much that you end up forgetting or losing your sanity. Instead, find your happy place. Just find your happy place and spend your time there, because otherwise you're going to run yourself crazy, sweet lady. You're going to run yourself ragged. You are. So find your happy place. And what I mean by that is, you may like us all, but find the place where you feel more peace and joy. And remember, like I said when we first started, we have fought a good fight. And I'm sure that most of us are around the same age. You don't want to spend the rest of the amount of days that the good Lord's going to give you on trying to spend all of your day on social media, trying to jump to catch everything. That's going to drive you crazy. So find your happy place and make that be who you stay loyal to. You can visit the other channels on occasion. So Rachel says, I know you saw that kid came to get Chuck. Don't you believe that animals know when someone is bad-hearted, and that Chuck knew that the way Chuck got mad, the noises he made, he was not happy with that guy. So Rachel, I do believe the fellow you're talking about is the cowboy guy, the one, the let's just say the imposter. Can we just call him the imposter? Now, people from my channel may not know about that, but it was the imposter, the guy that fooled Justin into believing that he was a cowboy and that he was going to take Chuck and make him into a rodeo bull. And Justin was completely content with that, as long as Chuck was not going to find himself being processed. And so that imposter, and remember, guys, anybody can buy a pair of boots and a pair of jeans and throw on an Ariat t-shirt and a cowboy hat. Does not make them a cowboy. But nonetheless, that fella, you said it yourself, you felt like there was something up with that guy. And then don't forget that a lot of men in different occupations have different egos, and they don't all have the same love and respect for animals. Some have that machismo thing going. And if you were to ask me, I don't know the guy from the next fella. I don't know him from the other guy. But all I could detect and all I picked up from the video is a whole lot of machismo. Is that the right word, Jamie? The fella was a whole lot of machismo. He liked to carry himself like he's the man. There ain't no one going to F with me. I'm the man. Ego, machismo. I think that you know what I mean. I don't know the guy's name. I know nothing about him. That reminds me of the guy at the Arms family. that guy's my friend. He was a police officer, okay? Jamie says all cops are like that. You said it before. Anyway, let's keep moving on. I think that guy's name was Sean. Thank you very much. But listen, I do believe that that's past. I think that Justin will take care of that on his end. KP says, I enjoy everyone's channel, though. I'm all seriousness. I just cycle through each channel like I can work on things. It helps me be productive to keep something in the background going. KP, you're giving me anxiety just reading about you watching all these darn channels. I can't imagine how hard that must be for you. But I'll say this, I bet you... Jamie said the same thing I was going to say. As long as you don't miss mine, as long as you got me going in the background, and Jamie said, as long as you got her in the background. That's funny. I love that. Thank you, KP. Martha says, there were lots of black cowboys in the 1800s and early 1900s. Susan says, I find laughter with your channel and peace with Paw and his people. My dad does bring peace. My dad is a almost 80-year-old man who will take his cup of coffee and he'll sit back and just talk to you and tell you stories. I don't think that my dad gets out and about as much on his videos as he used to, but he does like to jump on his side-by-side, grab a dog, and off he goes. Question: can you breed? I have two sons. LE is my oldest son, and he's 25. And as a matter of fact, today is his birthday. And then Lex is on. Gosh darn it. I tried to keep a straight face and you cracked me. Y'all cracked me. You cracked me. I'm known for keeping a straight face, y'all. Darn it. I'm known for keeping a straight face. I'm old, but I ain't that old, Michelle. Dwayne Lacey's here. Dwayne, it's good to see you, brother. I'm old, but I ain't that old, Michelle. The answer is yes, but let's not talk about me, okay? Let's keep focus on the animals, please. Melanie, how and why do you put up with me? Why do you even put up with me, ma'am? Lester Eugene Morrow. Luis, I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm just playing. How was that muffin that you ate and spit out? Justin ate and swallowed it. Not Justin, it was Jeff. Jeff ate it and ate the whole darn thing. Everyone's saying hi to Dwayne Lacey. He's a school teacher, colleague, friend of mine who I love as a brother. I went and I watched all the videos. Terrible what he did. I feel very sorry. Happy they got Chuck back. And to you, thank you, Miss Mary. I definitely want to see Chuck separated from Roman and Rita. Thank you. So, Mary, Chuck is in fact separated now. I will be leaving here in a few minutes, headed back over there. Jamie can verify that I spent most of my day over at the ranch property, keeping an eye on everything and making sure that all the cows and everything goes smooth. But whatever meds they gave to Chuck to calm him down, I know for a fact are wearing off. I've seen the effects of him changing each day. So, and then also, as far as anyone else who wants to know the entire story, I would invite you to go by and visit Justin's channel, which is the Steinmetz Family Farm. And he is the author of that story. And it really should be him that tells you. You guys know that I'm really big on letting each creator tell their own story. It's not mine to tell. But there was some things that happened with Chuck. And we are very lucky to be to have Chuck right now. Suzanne says, keep it Christian, Lester. And I'm sure she's going to follow it up with save some room for Jesus. Oh, happy birthday to my son, who is on his channel is the Flip Flop Farmer. What an adorable picture right there, Christina. How beautiful is that? Lester does not intend to breed Chuck. Oh, that's what you meant? That's what you meant. No, we talked about it earlier in the live that we kind of toyed around with the idea of if I knew anybody that would want to bring a cow over. But I was just toying with the idea, y'all. You know, people talk, men get together and we talk, BS, we talk. And the same way you ladies talk. But no, in reality, even though there's so many folks who would love to see Chuck able to enjoy a piece of the pie, if you will, before he gets his procedure done, I don't think we're going to be able to do that. So he will never experience that. Justin did eat one today and swallowed. Well, what Justin puts in his mouth and swallows is completely up to Justin. Andale, my sweet, sweet, sweet friend Andale. Check out my mug, Muffin Man. Andale, it's nice to see you. I fell in love with this lady. I met her once, and sweetest, most kindest smile you've ever seen on a woman. Talking to her, finding out about her life, and just a beautiful soul. Just a beautiful, beautiful soul. If you ever are looking for a channel that can put you at peace and just can bring your inner joy out, take a visit to Andale, y'all. She is wonderful. Don't leave me, though. Don't leave me for Andale. I already know so many of y'all done left me for Justin. I already know. I see your names. I have your names written down. I'm watching and keeping a tally of how many people are making comments saying, this is the best channel ever. Oh my God, I found you through Lester. Oh my God, it's disgusting. Silly rabbit. Chuck coughed because he was eating. Hey, Keisha, you changed your profile picture. It wasn't like they were just clowning around. They didn't know how to get him over to the other property or how to get him back either. So Diana, sweet lady, let me tell you how my brain works. I hate to embarrass you, ma'am, but you brought this on yourself. You ready? Are you ready? You know where all those horses come up to the RV? You know where I feed that roll of hay to the neighbor's cows? You know where Jamie puts water for the neighbor's cows and the neighbor's horses? You know there's a gate right there, the gate that we drive through. So my plan was to open that gate into my yard. I was going to shake me a bucket with some feed and pour it out in my yard. And them 3 cows, sweet lady, would have walked right out of their pasture and came right into my yard. And then, you know what I would have done? I would have walked them right over to that other pasture, which is right there where that bull is at. That would have been easy, Miss Diana. But the bigger picture is the consequences of getting one of those cows bred. You see, Diana, it's people like you who put those little things in there trying to plant those seeds of doubt, trying to plant those seeds of hate, trying to plant those seeds of negativity. All right. Lester, I've been watching you for a few years now, but I just have to say, I hate that freaking Muffin Man song. Linda, you're not the only one that hates that darn song. You are not the only one that hates that darn song. I can promise you that. Hello, Canada. Hello there, Canada. Listening faithfully. Monique, what a beautiful name. And we're blessed to have you. It's crazy to me, though. It's crazy to me to know how this channel. Shannon, I know you and your husband. To the lady who watches all the channels, a tip from Lester. Pick the channel or channels you love the most. I used to do that, but now I just watch Lester and Jamie 95% of the time. Shannon, who gets the other 5%? Don't make me come find you two. Don't make me come find you two. Oh, Lester, you are one of a kind. Says Happy, Happy, Joy, Joy. What a wonderful name. Happy, Happy, Joy, Joy. You cannot say it without smiling. I dare you to try. On YouTube, Happy, Happy, Joy, Joy says, oh, Lester, you're one of a kind, but we wouldn't have it any other way. There are some that would disagree with you, sweet, Happy, Happy, Joy, Joy. I agree with Lindsay. Don't promise Chuck to have a one-night stand. Look into it. But everyone knows he fully thinks what is best for his cattle. Yeah, we would only, so here's what I did do as far as the thing with Chuck. I reached out to my nephew, Jacob, who has Annabelle. And Jake said he would absolutely be happy to bring Annabelle over But Jake doesn't want any bull calves, obviously, and he only wants to keep any females. But Justin said that if he produces any females, he wants the female for Cinco. So that kind of shot that idea down. We also made the same offer to our friend, Longhorn Rancher Jake, because he has enough cows to have a tax exemption. They're not all purebred, but he already has a bull. And to him, it would be more work than what it's worth. And if he had any cows, then he would actually want to keep those for himself. So we did try. Lester, you have a 7-year-old fan on tonight. Well, Cat Love, I could have swore that YouTube had age restrictions. I don't know how you created the channel, but thank you. But you're sneaky. You're a sneaky one. Kind of the same way that my son created himself a TikTok and all of that. They lie about their age. Cat, I don't know how you did it, but you're a sneaky one. You're a sneaky one, Cat. Your family are good people, Lester. You're good-hearted. Whew. Deanne, you don't know us very good. You only know the outside of us. You only know what we let you see. I'm playing. Thank you. You're very kind. Lester, can you address the cough, please? I feel great. Justin and Jeff were both sick as dogs. They should have never traveled down here. They were sick as dogs. I don't know how Lauren was not sick, but those two were sick as dogs, and they were coughing and sneezing up a storm. As of today, which is only Monday, right, babe? Jamie and I feel great. We hung out with them on Friday and Saturday nights. Thursday and Friday. We hung out with them on Thursday and Friday. And as of today, neither one of us have a sniffle, a sneeze, or a cough. I think we're going to be fine. But those two guys probably should be in their deathbeds. It's best because FFF doesn't need another cow anyway. That's none of my business. That's none of my business. My 3-year-old grandson watches your page with me. Jane, careful, because everyone knows that I can sometimes get a little carried away. I love watching your channel. I love that you give your animals their best life. Thank y'all. Guys, it's supposed to be a question and answer. Questions and answers. I'm going to answer all of your questions, but only if I see questions. But you're kind. Thank you. And we really do try. Jamie and I made a pledge and a promise after Hurricane Harvey flooding, whenever everything kind of fixed itself and we got everything put back in order, there were so many animals that had never been reclaimed. Survivors from that horrible hurricane flood. And there were so many animals that were sitting there in the Liberty County has their very big, I don't know what it is, their fairgrounds. It's the fairgrounds. And they had all their arenas and all their lots and all their pastures were full of all of these animals that no one had ever claimed after the flooding. Animals that had either swam downstream, floated downstream, or somehow survived. Many who people had to leave behind and they somehow survived. But when everyone came back home, many to their homes being destroyed, and there were hundreds of animals that were unclaimed, Liberty County put out an all call and says, if you can identify any of these as yours, come get them. Very few animals left. And then they put out adoptions. If you want to adopt an animal, I forgot how much it was per animal, but just enough to have a vet check and have it vaccinated and sent on its way. And I'll tell you what, there were cows and horses and pigs and goats and all kinds of animals there that got adopted out. But what there were still lots of, which just broke our heart, were donkeys. And you all know that Imogene is one of our donkeys she was the lone surviving donkey in the Hurricane Harvey flooding. And so when we decided to go ahead and open up an animal rescue and forever home sanctuary, we wanted to name it after Ima Gene. And so we called it Ima Survivor. Ima is spelled I-M-A. Ima Gene is spelled I-M-A. Gene, Ima Gene. So thank you, ma'am. All we're doing is just trying to give back. You know, I live with a lot of guilt because everyone knows that whenever I did have to evacuate our home there during that flood, I was unable to take all of the animals with me. And when I came home, many had lost their lives. And I don't think that you know how guilt-ridden is, I think, the best word. Guilt-ridden someone can be when they realize that these animals, you were their hope, you were their human, you were the one who walked out and you fed them and you loved on them, and you know, every single day, and you changed their water and you did all the things that you did. And then whenever the flood waters begin to come up and you found yourself surrounded by the all of the bridges were out and there was no way to leave, and you just kept hoping that at some point that water would stop rising, and it didn't. It just kept coming and kept coming. And then whenever the fire department finally comes by and they demand that you leave and they take you out on their boat, and all you can do is just hope that your animals can somehow find a way to and then when you come home and you discover that most of those babies did not make it, so what you sometimes do is try to find a way to, make yourself a promise that from that day on, you're going to do all that you can to make it right. So, you made a lot of mistakes in everything leading up to that day. And so from that day forward, you're going to do all that you can to make sure that you make it right for all the new babies that come along. But thank you. Jamie, this house is hot and humid. Hot and humid in here.
Your eyes are not sweating.
Well, friends, I think that we've answered just about all of the questions. I don't really see anything new popping across my screen. I wish there was some news on Sadie. But thank you all so much for watching, and we're going to continue to work with Chuck and do the best that we can to make sure that he's happy and he's home. He is in his forever home. And remember, you will continue to see me love him without loving on him. And if you don't understand that, I'm so sorry. But I just hope that you'll understand that there's a reason for it. Thank y'all for watching.
Survivor. I'm a survivor, survivor. Who will be the ultimate survivor? Let's find out when you spend a day in our shoes. All you creators, our sanctuary is waiting. Who will win the title? Well, it could be you. Survivor, survivor. I'm a survivor.
Because I want to love. Now, I'm afraid that Chucky sees me and he's going to walk over and see if I want to love on him. Oh, and that's sad because I just can't, y'all. I want to, but I can't. I cannot do anything to mess up what's going on here with the herd. And everybody needs to know, guys, I just want you to know that it's breaking me. It hurts me as much as it's hurting you. It is. Because I want to love. I want to give him a muffin. I want to pet on him. But that would not do him any favors right now. Please don't come over here, Chucky. I can't talk to you right now, buddy. I'm trying to hide behind this pole. I'm trying to hide behind a... Oh, no. Look who's watching. Chucky, I'm trying to hide behind this pole so no one sees me. You're a wonderful fella, and we do love you so much. You're all muddy and pretty, the way the girls like you to look. Oh, Chucky, I can't love on you, though. Guys, I'm not allowed to love on him. Buddy, I'm sorry, okay? I'm so sorry.